Alright guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my review of Freddy vs. Jason. This came out in 2003. It's starring Monica Keena and Jason Ritter. It was directed by Ronnie Yu. Man guys, I gotta say, it is so refreshing to have a movie after after The New Blood, after Jason Takes Manhattan, after Jason Goes to Hell, while I do like that movie for its own reasons, and after Jason X. It is so refreshing to get some prime, awesome slasher content. I'm gonna come right out and say it. I really, really enjoy this movie. It has its shitty things, absolutely. I think some of the dialogue in this is horrendous. It has its bright spots, though. But yeah, some of the dialogue is absolutely horrendous. There's a lot of moments where the actors try, and I won't come out and just say, like, oh, any of these actors are, like, horrible. Really, everyone does their best with what they're given. It's just some of the dialogue that is written for this movie, it's rough, man. It's really, really rough. But they do their best, and I think everyone does a fantastic job in this one. But really, other than that, I genuinely like everything about this movie. Like, I like to love everything, I should say. Um, Robert fucking England. Obviously, this is the first movie on the channel that we're reviewing that has Freddy in it. Freddy Krueger, one of the best slashers of all time, and what can you really say? I'll get into a lot more about why I love his character in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but obviously I'm going to talk about it here because he's in the fucking movie. But anyways, Robert Englund obviously does a fantastic job as Freddy Krueger. One thing that I really, just to wrap up the spoiler-free section, I should say, one thing that really perturbs me about this one, and I don't know why they did this. I mean, I know why they did it, but not having Kane Hodder in this movie to me is a crime. Uh, for someone who put up with so much shit and who knows, maybe he thought the movies he was in was good, but I know for a fact that he was heartbroken about not being casted for this one. I mean, people were looking forward to Freddy vs. Jason. Horror fans. It was the talk of the horror community for so many years. Everyone wanted to see Freddy vs. Jason, and I guarantee you, everyone wanted to see Kane Hodder in that role. All love to Ken Kerr. I want to get this right. Kersinger. Apologies if I got that wrong, but all props to him. I think he does a good job in this. He fills the role just fine. I think he's a good Jason. Not one of my favorites, but I think he fills the role really nicely, and he's a huge fucking dude, which that's kind of what they were looking for when they casted Jason in this, is they wanted someone fucking huge and big and someone who would, like, out well, literally outweigh Freddy as far as a physical standpoint is concerned. And Kane Hodder is just not that guy. But it's still, I think they could have shot around it. I think they could have done stuff differently. And that's really my own thing. And every time I watch this movie, I can't help but think, man, that should have been Kane. And it sucks, but, you know, what can you do? I still think we have a phenomenal slasher movie on our hands. Like I said, suffers from the things that any, good slasher movie suffers from. But overall, I highly recommend this one, guys. And without any further ado, let's just get right into it and spoil the shit out of it. Stay tuned. Alright, spoiler time. Your ass has been warned. Now, let's hop right into it. But before we do, a big shout out to my good friend Nick, who this is his absolute 100% favorite horror movie, he says. Which, man, it's a pretty good one. I gotta say, I do not blame him for saying that whatsoever. I think this movie is absolutely fun. I think it's a blast, and we're about to spoil the shit out of it. Now, I had to get my buddy in there for a second. I think we have an awesome opening here, going over Freddy Krueger's career highlights, if you will. going over the story in a cool, interesting way for those who are uninitiated, which, I mean, I guess if you're just dragging your girlfriend to see this and you don't really know the story of Freddy and you just know that Jason's some guy in a hockey mask, you really wouldn't know. So I think it's fine. I think it's cool that they kind of give you a little refresh on who Freddy Krueger is. Again, for those uninitiated, child murderer, Fred Krueger, who ends up getting burned to death by the parents of Springwood, and comes back as a dream demon. And that's, as he said, that's where the fun really begins. And ends up, that's a horrible Freddy impression. But anyways, ends up going on a dream, basically goes on a rampage and kills all of these kids in their sleep via their dreams, which is, I'll get into it more on in my Nightmare on Elm Street series review, but that concept of not being able to sleep is fucking terrifying. If you've ever had a night where you just don't sleep for whatever reason, or you can't, you know how miserable you feel the next day. And imagine feeling like that for days at a time. And the reason you can't sleep is because if you sleep, you die. What an amazing concept. Freddy Krueger, fucking incredible. Wes Craven, also fucking incredible. Rest in peace to a legend. But anyways, moving on. So I think the way they interlay that story with Freddy Krueger being dead and him being forgotten, and therefore if he's forgotten, he no longer is feared, so he has no power. He's just this demon that's dwelling in the void or in hell or whatever you want to say. And while in hell, he finds Jason, which I guess if you want, you can say he found him after Jason Goes to Hell, because the ending of that movie. And where the fuck does Jason X tie into that? Disregard all of that. But anyways, while he is in hell, he finds Jason Voorhees, and he thinks of a actually pretty goddamn good plan. He takes Jason, awakens him, poses as Pamela Voorhees, which is just cruel, man. But and sends him to Springwood, and I think it's a really cool way of doing so. You get to see, excuse me, you get to see Jason's dreams, what he dreams about, which is killing teenagers. He's living the dream, man. But Pamela tells him to wake up and go to go kill the children on Elm Street. Or did she say the children of Springwood? I think she says children of Springwood, because they've been very bad. And Jason obviously obeys his mother, but it's Freddy. So I think that concept, it's such a cool, strong story. I think it's the best way you could have possibly brought those two characters together. Obviously, Jason is Jason, so once a lot of the kids think it's Freddy, and it's time for Freddy to start killing again, Jason can't stop. So now, Freddy's pissed because he's unleashed this animal, this killing machine, and as Freddy sees it, he's the only one who can really stop him. So therein lies the clash. You're killing all my people, you fuck. Stop it. It's great, man. It's cool. It's simple, but it works. And I really, really like it. Such a strong story here. And also, you can tell the people who developed this movie and made it were really paying attention. You know, you get, what's the medicine called from Nightmare 3? Oh, this is gonna kick my ass. Fuck it. I don't remember it, but it's the it's the medicine from part 3 that prevents kids from dreaming, which is honestly a really cool little nod, and also kind of leads into everybody forgetting about Freddy as they forget what this drug was used for. But I guess they really wouldn't have known because it was kind of a secret in 3. But I'm getting off of topic. But yeah, I think the story here is so cool. I think I'm rambling, but it's because I love this movie so much. I think so much respect was given to the respective franchises, and they really paid attention and made something really cool for all the horror fans because they knew how much we were looking forward to this. And 98% of it is honestly really cool. And even that little 2% that I hear people bitch about, to me, both of these minor offenses, which I will get into here in a second, they both make sense within the context of the story. And what those are is, first of all, I'm really gassy today. I don't know why. Ugh. Anyways, those offenses are basically Kina? Wait, what's her name? Kia. I was thinking of Monica Kina. And, why wouldn't I be? Anyways, Kia she's like wants to get a nose job, and she obviously falls asleep in the nurse's office reading a plastic surgery magazine. And Freddy comes up and gives one of his awesome lines, got your nose, and he sticks his claws in and rips her nose out. And anyone who knows the lore of Nightmare on Elm Street, or the rules, would know she would wake up without her nose. And I always rebuttal, well, he's not powerful enough to actually be able to do any damage to people. It's shown earlier on when he tries to kill, I forget the guy's fucking name, douchebag number 2. And when he tries to kill him, and he can't physically do any damage to anybody. So even though it's a great looking effect, it's a little dated, but it still looks cool in my opinion. Fuck it. he can't actually do anything, so there you go. And the other thing I hear people bitch about ad nauseum is the Jason being afraid of water thing, which for a while and that one's a little harder to just explain away. I will say that it is a little jarring to have Jason really afraid of anything. But it's in that whole sequence takes place in Freddy's dream world, where really he makes the rules, and so I guess I can kind of pardon it and kind of ignore it. It is very jarring and kind of it doesn't make any sense. I mean, Jason in every other movie just walks in the water like it's nothing. So that one's a little more of but honestly, if that's the only thing I really have to bitch about in this movie, I'd say it's a pretty fucking good movie. But yeah, also, I really, really enjoy that in a movie that's two main characters, they're villains, but they're the main characters, let's be honest here. I like that this is not a typical paint by numbers, put kids in a location and kill them off slasher movie. That's fine, and I adore movies like that, obviously, but I think this movie, it just has another layer to it, and I can't really explain it, which is bad because I'm fucking reviewing the thing. But I just think this movie's story is so interesting. I love the little romance angle. Yeah, it's corny. Yeah, it's cheesy. Blah 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 blah. But I still enjoy it. I think it's a cool angle that invests you a little more in the two main protagonists, even though everyone's really just rooting for Jason and Freddy to kill everybody. Anyways, again, let's be honest. But it's still good. I think Monica Kina and Jason Ritter do a fine job in this. I think they're really cool. As characters, I think as far as slasher characters are concerned, I think there's enough depth there to make them interesting. Also, Mark, played by Brendan Fletcher, I think he's also really funny in this, and when he needs to be, he delivers a very, very good performance, especially in his death scene. He is he's one of the victims of the shitty dialogue thing, where he's a fine actor. I think he does a good job in the movie, but he has to sing the the Freddy Krueger, the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for that shit. And he says afterwards, he's like, you know why they say that? because that's when he comes for you. It's like, no shit. It's in the fucking song. But, you know, and it's just little stuff like that that always makes me laugh. But everyone does really good in this. Catherine Isabelle as Gib is always fun. And yeah, even like the douchier characters, like, oh, what's his name? I got IMDb up here because I got sick of fucking forgetting everybody's name. Trey. Even Trey is like, he's probably I'd say the worst character, like as a character, because he like, everything he says is terrible. Like everything. Like there is no redeeming qualities about this character, which makes his death scene, which we will get into shortly enough, makes that death scene all the more satisfying. But he is like the most cartoony douchebag in the world. It's just hilarious. He's like, how about you don't kiss me after you smoke, babe? It's like, lighten up, they're menthols. It's just great shit, man. Let's see here. And then just to wrap up the spoiler section, because again, I'll say it in all these reviews, I'm sure. I'm not just gonna paint this whole picture for you when you can just go and watch the movie. I've already recommended it. Go and watch the fucking movie. Support the filmmakers. I appreciate the support though too, and please keep watching these videos. But just to wrap up the spoiler section, this movie is called Freddy vs. Jason, and it fucking delivers. I absolutely hate versus films where they end up just teaming up in the end. Like superhero movies especially are like this, like Batman versus Superman, but that's the least of that movie's problems. But anyways, I can't stand when compromise is reached. Like, I want these fucking people, or in this case, monsters, I want these motherfuckers battling to the fucking death. I don't care. I want one of them to die. I want a winner. It's Freddy versus Jason. Maybe that's the pro wrestling fan in me too. I want a finish, goddammit. And we get one here, and we will get into that shortly. But Freddy and Jason here are awesome. Obviously, again, Robert Englund does a phenomenal job. I think his performances as Freddy Krueger, while they did get more comedic in nature as time went on, especially in like the first three, I think he's perfect. I, honest to God, cannot picture anybody else playing that role. Robert Englund is fucking Freddy Krueger. There's no replacement, at least in my mind. You know, Jackie Earle Haley, who played him in the remake, I think he does a fine job. I don't have any problem with his performance as Freddy Krueger. I actually like it. But to me, there are certain shoes that Hollywood just can't fill. And Freddy Krueger is that's Robert Englund, man. You know, all love the Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers and Leatherface, but you can put anyone behind a mask. Well, not anyone, obviously, but you can put multiple different people behind that mask, and it'll be fine. You know, Brad Dourif is the voice of Chucky. That's how it is. That's just how it is. Freddy Krueger is Robert Englund. That's just how it is. Amazing stuff here from him, as always. And Ken Kersinger, I think, again, I'm sorry if I fucking butchered that name, but I think he does fine in this. I know people bitch ad nauseum about his performance of, oh, he's too robotic and blah, 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 blah. Man, that's a directorial thing, dude. Like, that's not... Sure, he was a little wooden at times, and sure, the Jason character kind of came off a little blocky and a little, you know, simple, which I guess... I mean, I'm not even going to go there, but... Anyways... I think his performance is good. I think his fight with Freddy Krueger, which is the whole point of this movie existing, I fucking love their fight. And Ken it takes two to tango, man, and Ken lays some shit down, dude. I think he's absolutely great as Jason. I wouldn't put him as my favorite or anything like that. All respect, obviously, but man, he's fucking. I think he's huge. He's an intimidating presence for Freddy to face, and I think he's great in the movie. I think he does his role. I think he does his job perfectly fine. Fuck the haters, Ken. I think you did really good, man. Like I said, it's a crime that Kane didn't get the role, but damn it, he did his job and he did it good. Well, that will wrap it up for the spoiler section and the review portion of the movie, or the review. Review. We're going to get into my kill of the film now. Technical difficulties there for a second, but for anyone who misses the line that's becoming quite prevalent in these reviews, it's time for my kill of the film. Now, Freddy vs. Jason, as I've said before, at its best, is a very fun, loyal, enjoyable, crazy fucking movie. I really, really enjoy it. I think it takes enough twists and turns, and it has plenty of that bloody and brutal action that you know I love to see. I actually looked up on IMDb, and this is listed as a horror action movie, which I think is fair. I think all of the stuff between Freddy versus Jason could definitely be classified as action. You get a lot of cool shit in Freddy's dream world of him literally just throwing Jason around with his mind, even playing pinball with him for a second, bringing in some of that comedic side of the character, which I enjoy. And then the battle on the dock, man, or the battle at Crystal Lake, I should say. Holy shit, so much fucking blood, and it's just so brutal, especially at the end. It's great stuff. But anyways, we gotta get into my kills of the film, and don't worry, we will bring up the battle at Crystal Lake here shortly. But just for some honorable mentions before we get into my absolute favorite kill of this movie. The scene in the cornfield where all the kids are having a party and raving, and there's a lot of good stuff there. Obviously, Jason killing the would-be rapist. I love that Jason is anti-rape, man. Unintentionally, I don't think he really means to be, but he always tends to. He did it in Jason Takes Manhattan as well. He always tends to stop women from being sexually assaulted, which I think is cool. Obviously, he doesn't mean to. I don't think he has a lot of morals about him, but it still is pretty funny that that's kind of like a running gag, if you want to call it that, of that character. But yeah, stabs the dude with a big old long staff, pole, whatever you want to call it, and just throws him, like fucking heaves this dude across like maybe 15 rows of corn. Good stuff. Also, the two douchebags who were handing out the invitations at the high school. One getting his head turned 360. Well, 180. He gets his fucking head turned around. Leave me alone. And the other guy gets a flaming machete through. Every time I see it, it looks like it's through his neck, but it's like kind of like right here. Also a really, really cool kill. And then we get Jason just hacking and slashing all of these kids while he's on fire, which is cool. Jason really gets a lot of the kills in this one. Freddy has his moment of glory though when he kills Mark. Has a really, really brutal. Excuse me again, gassy. Really brutal nightmare sequence with Mark's brother who committed suicide. Freddy's posing as him in the bathtub. He even has his wrists open and stuff. It's a lot, man. It's a lot, and it obviously ends with Mark getting his back all burnt up, and basically to deliver the message that Freddy is back, and that kind of kicks off the third act of the movie. Third act? You know what I mean. Anyways, he I think that's a really, really good one. Also, Mark gets his face basically slashed open, which is really, really cool. It's a nice visual. It's always cool seeing Freddy. It's a nice callback to Nightmare 1, where you don't really see Freddy doing the damage, but you see him slash open. Her name's Tina, I think. I think so. Yeah, Tina. I'm gonna go with Tina. When he slashes her stomach open, and obviously blood spatters all over the room. Phenomenal kill. I'm sure that's gonna give away what my favorite kill is for Nightmare 1. Sorry. But yeah, really good stuff there. Mark's death is awesome. Also, Kia's death, for the sheer hilarity of it. Just how fucking outrageous it is. She's shit talking Freddy. It's towards the end of the movie, actually. She's shit talking Freddy, and she turns around, and Jason just basically hits a home run. He slashes her like stomach and chest open, and in the process, she goes flying across the set or camp or whatever you want to say. Again, a really, really fun, outrageous, logic-defying kill, but I really like it for what it is. It's goofy and it's fun. Also, Freddy's death. Freddy's death is really, really cool, and very drawn out too. Like, he gets fucked up by Jason. As soon as he's in the real world, Jason kicks the shit out of him, man. And Freddy gets some good hits in too, especially, most notably, cutting off Jason's fingers. You get a nice little shot of his fingers kind of just... and that's always brutal to watch. And then, at one point, has Jason on his back and just claws him right through the mask, right into his fucking eyeballs. It's like, holy shit. And logically, Jason should not be able to see after that, but whatever. But got some Mortal Kombat logic going on here. But anyways, really, really good stuff. But Jason, man, cuts his fucking arm. No, not cuts his arm off. Rips his arm off. Rips his fucking arm off. The claw hand, too. Rips his claw arm off, shoves his like stumpy fingerless hand into his stomach, just fucks this guy up, man. There's also some cool shit where Freddy, a bunch of poles fly through Jason's body and they both get fucking obliterated by a big old mining cart, and just, why are they mining in Crystal Lake, but whatever. Just all in all, man, I'm rambling a lot, but if you don't have time to watch a full movie, that last fight scene between those two characters, it does justice to what horror fans were waiting for so fucking long, man. It's bloody, it's brutal, it's amazing. It ends with, actually, Jason shoving Freddy's own arm through his back out of his stomach. And then Jason obviously is, that's the line apparently. Jason has been dealt too much damage and then falls into the lake. And then Lori, the main girl, which I just now said her name, but Lori ends up then cutting Freddy's head clean off. Just boom. Which, again, full decapitations in one swoop. Not realistic, but fucking whatever, man. Who cares? Really, really cool death for Freddy. Probably one of my favorite deaths in the Nightmare franchise, which, yes, this is an entry in the Nightmare and Friday franchises. It's just a nice little, Anyways. No one cut that. No one cut me doing that. But yeah, anyways, I've been rambling. This is probably the longest kill of the film section ever, but I'm rambling because I fucking love this movie. Anyways, let's get into the kill of the film. Trey's death. Anyone who has seen this movie already knows where this is going, but fuck, man, such a good kill. Just got done banging his girlfriend as a douchebag to her afterwards. Babe, come on, I don't like to be touched after. Fucking douchebag. But But yeah, so she's showering, and he leans over to take a sip of his beer. Looks back. Jason is just like, "Hey," and he tries to run away. Jason stabs him like 10 or so times in the back with a machete. You get this brutal shot of the machete piercing the bed, also with Trey's guts kind of spilling through the mattress as well. Very brutal shit. And then it ends where Trey's kind of seizing a little bit. He's clearly fucked. But Jason's like, you know what, motherfucker? I'm not done with you. Grabs one end of the bed, grabs the other end of the bed, and with Trey in the middle, laying on his stomach, boop, folds this dude back ways, kind of reminiscent of his kill in part 6 with Sheriff Garris. But yeah, man, just fucking folds this dude in half. It is beautiful. Fucking love it. Good crunching. Amazing. Yeah, again, I know. I'm fucked up. Leave me alone. Anyways, guys, that'll be my kill of the film, and that'll do it for Freddy vs. Jason. Absolutely go check that one out, guys. Again, I mentioned it on the Instagram page at Days of Darkness 97. I mentioned, yeah, sorry about the wait. I had to take a little time just to celebrate Christmas with my family and all of that, but we are back, and we are badder than ever. And next time on Days of Darkness, we are going to be reviewing the Friday the 13th remake, reboot, sequel thing. No one really knows. I'm just going to go ahead and call it Friday 2009. That's going to be a fun one. I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but I'm looking forward to it. We'll just say that. So, alright guys, thank you as always for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. It means the world to me. And I will see you guys next time. Keep safe, take care of each other, and keep watching horror. Alright guys, peace.